Good morning again, before 10 o'clock, remember? Okay, last night, something caught my eye as I was scrolling through my feed on my YouTube. And that was about the Jules Dervais family out in California. They actually, they farm 1/10 of an acre and they're very successful at it. In the video, they said they make approximately $22,000 a year. And that buys stuff that they're not able to raise on that 1/10 of an acre. But think about this. If one family can support themselves on 1/10 of an acre, that's only a little city block, a little city lot. What could you do with an acre or a half-acre lot? Now there are groups such as Shed Wars. Homestead Aquarius is part of that. John at Will It Grow is part of that. Arkansas Woodcutter is part of that. And they each have different areas that they cover. Now, when I first heard about Shed Wars, I thought, okay. You're going to teach these city folks how to grow in containers to support themselves whenever food gets scarce. I had forgotten about the Jules Dervais family. But then last night, when I watched the video again, I saw, oh yeah, Homestead Aquarius is right. John at Will It Grow, he's right. You can grow a large amount of food in your backyard, your front yard. You could actually use solar panels, and you can go with old-fashioned gadgets instead of the latest electrical gadgets that we have in our kitchens today. I mean, microwaves, electric coffee pots, electric blenders, electric whatever, electric. These people actually use the old-fashioned egg beaters and other gadgets. In their backyard, this family has a few pets. Not the usual pets. They have pets like chickens. They have a few goats, not large goats, little goats, small goats. Yes, at one point when I was watching about, see, I've been following this family for years, ever since they started. They started in Florida, then they went to New Zealand, I think, and then they ended up in California. But I've been watching their family for a long time. And some of the ideas are great ideas. And all of their ideas about farming and supporting themselves on their acreage are very good. Now, if you're in mind to pick up Shed Wars and begin to watch Shed Wars, listen to Homestead Aquarius, you'll begin to see the different areas. Yes, I can do that. In the video last night, they pointed out not one person can do it. The 3 children that are living there are not children, they're actually adults. And they all 3 have vital jobs in their success in the large city. They sell, of course, to local people. They want boxes of good fresh food, so they sell their fresh organic foods to the people that are neighbors that come far away that want organic foods. They sell to some of the best restaurants in San Bernardino. And they sell honey. It's remarkable what this family can do. Now, when my children were young, I wanted to do that. But one thing I didn't do, I did not get rid of all of the modern day trappings that this man got rid of in order to raise his family. Yep, TVs, Xboxes, you know, like even last night, I wasted 2 hours watching a funny movie. What would I have done with that 2 hours? I could have finished cleaning out my closet, throwing away what I didn't need, right? So we waste a lot of time that could be spent doing something else. And what I'm suggesting is that while you're still young, while you still have your health, begin to think about these ways of living. I also know about another couple. They live in Tennessee, and they call themselves dirt rich. They both had very successful, high-paying jobs, and they forsook those high-paying jobs to work a couple of acres in Tennessee, just outside Nashville. They're very successful at it. Now, this couple has something that most people don't have. She was a salesman for one of the large Xerox, 3M, or something like that. I don't know which. You could read the story. I'll leave you a link below. They're very successful in working in the dirt, getting your hands dirty, you know? It's a thing to do. See, we're coming into troublesome times. What are you going to eat? The government's not going to be able to feed you all the time. You need to learn to grow your own. That's right. Aquaponics. You could have a small aquaponics in your backyard. So then you would have fish, you'd have greens. If you got a few chickens, you got eggs. Yeah. These are things that people need to think about. I heard on Life with Patti yesterday. She went to get milk. I think it was Patti. Anyhow, there was no milk, and no milk around. What's the deal? Why don't we have milk on our shelves at the grocery store? Well, good question. But the answer is to learn to get your hands dirty. If you're not really into gardening and you have a black thumb, well, then you need to start finding every bit of sale you can find and stock your canned goods up. Put them under your bed, put them in your closet, under your couch, whatever you need to do, you better be stocking up. Now, let's talk about Homestead Aquarius. He's got some ideas here. At first, when you look at his videos, you think, what's this man growing? What's he going to eat? And then it dawned on me. He's teaching you how to grow wild edibles. Yeah. There's very pretty flowers that look like daisies on sunchokes. Their roots are very edible. And in your garden, you can grow asparagus year-round. Daylilies, they're edible. They look pretty. They're edible. There's a lot of things that you can plant in your yard for landscaping that at times get really hard, and your neighbors are not going to steal those things because they think, really, I'm not going to eat a daylily. Pull up that sunflower and eat the root? I don't think so. Okay, starve. But Homestead Aquarius, he's got it going on. He knows that we also need to learn about wild edibles. We need to landscape our yard with edibles. That's right. Look it up. Google it. Take these people seriously. If the Jules Dervais family can support themselves on 1/10 of an acre in a city, they do have salesmanship skills, but you do too. I'm sure you do. Be serious. Now, you that are still with me and that haven't turned me off, why didn't I do that a long time ago? I wish I had. But I kept listening to all those people that were in the box. They were inside the cubicle. In my head, they were in my head. And I kept listening to them saying, well, that's crazy. You can't do that. Where are you going to get the money to buy those children's shoes? Well, the answer is grow enough, sell it to the good restaurants, sell it to people that want unchemical, that want organic good food to put in their bodies. You sell. That was the answer. But I overlooked it because there was too many things in my head, too many people's voices telling me, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. So I didn't. I stayed in the cubicle. I stayed in the cubicle working, doing the things that I was supposed to do. You know, you've been there too, right? Well, let me tell you, the day is coming when you'll wish you'd had the mindset of Jules Verne, hard name to say for me. You'll wish you had that mindset. You'll wish you had a garden in your backyard. You'll wish you had a small aquaponics. You'll wish you had a few honey hives. You'll wish you had a few chickens. I'm sorry, but those of you that are living very safely in your condominiums and your high rises, well, I'm sorry. There's nothing else I can say. I love you. I appreciate you. But I'm going to be right here in the country. I'm going to be right here until the vision that I had becomes real. Of course I can't do all that stuff by myself. Jules Verne family, they said it takes all three of us. One of them works in sales. One of them does animal husbandry. One of them does the inside stuff, like making the foods and packaging the foods to sell. And the son, he still works in the outside. He said one garden bed, a 4x8, or maybe a larger one, but I do remember the cost of $50. And he says 10 years later, it's still good. So his investment of $50 for that 4x8 bed came out pretty good over the years, didn't it? So you think it's too much and too expensive to container garden like these people in Shed Wars are showing you to do? Not really, no. Tune into North Coast Organics. He shows you about using worm casings. Green Greg's shows you about growing a worm garden and a worm bed. What do you do with those worms? You use their casings, just like North Coast Organics shows you how to do. That way you are not buying extra organics and extra potting soil. You can do it. If one family has set the model and one family can grow and be successful on 1/10 of an acre, you can too. I could also. Well, if I had my children and grandchildren to help me. But you can, is the point. So if you're young enough, you still got your good health, find you a place that's out of the country and do it. Hey, another successful person that took an acre, and not even the best of acreage, in a city, is Homestead Tessi. Yes. And all the stuff that she has in her pantry is what she grew in her garden, as well as what people did not want at the food pantry. She put it up. She was smart enough to put it up. What about you? What about me? I may not be able to grow it, but if somebody's getting ready to throw away a big box of tomatoes, I would know how to can it, and that I can do. If someone's getting ready to throw away a large case of carrots, sure, I know how to rescue them. I know how to put them in my sink, wash them up, cut them up, put them in my pressure canner, and put them away for a later date. Do you? We need to learn these things. So back to the 1/10 of an acre. You can do it. You think that's true? They did it. I've been watching them for over 10 years, and the story hasn't changed any. They don't live the same lifestyle that I've led. They don't live the same lifestyle that most of you live. But they have been successful. You might want to think about changing your lifestyle. Wish I'd done it years ago. Anyhow, what I'm asking you today, let's get serious. RV Lucky and I are not going to go out and grow $22,000 worth of food. We need help. But we are smart enough at our ages to set aside items, build our pantry with what we do have for our grandchildren, for the sake of our grandchildren. What are you doing? Please check out the links that I'm leaving below. If you're still with me, if you're still following, you're still watching, the links that I'm going to give to you in my description below will be the most beneficial things that you ever read and that you ever learn about in your lifetime. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.